Okay, I'm trying a new type of thing here, new type of video. Colt Cougar's how to draw, insert character name here. This will basically be, I'll take a character that I want to learn how to draw, Google them, get a couple of images, and then kind of render them in a way that I could draw them, so I can remember their details, so then I can draw them from pretty much any angle for simply the purposes of making them appear in a smiley show. And for the first one, I'm just going to go with Solid Snake. I'm recording on my Cintiq screen, so it's awkward because when I use reference, it would be on my other monitor. If I switch monitors while recording, it cancels the recording. I could make cuts and then stick everything together, but that means going into Premiere Pro. I don't fancy that. So I'm going to have maybe the stuff I grab here, and these are crappy images off of Bing, not even Google, just to give me the information I need, not the detail, just the information. So I'm going with Metal Gear Solid 1 Snake. I'm a fan of all of the varieties of Snake, but you know, this codec image is like so poor in terms of quality, but from here I can see very key things, like how the bandana comes on his face. He has a normal kind of nose. It's not like a Wolverine stubby kind of nose. He's got this wonderfully pronounced kind of jaw thing going on. I don't know if svelte's the word for his cheekbones, but yeah, I actually forgot about his codec picture when I was on Bing, and then it came up and I was like, yeah, this is what we need. And then in Metal Gear 1, I'm not quite sure how pronounced his mullet is. But then if this is the smiley show Snake, it doesn't necessarily have to be completely accurate to the Metal Gear version. I like messing around with different timed versions of characters. So it's very possible I could have old Snake in a smiley show next to naked Snake when he was young, which would be chronologically impossible, but we don't worry about those kind of things when we make silly comics, do we? Right, so do I need anything else from this? Not really. Working at this scale on my Cintiq, I'm literally, this is like the size of my phone. It's absurd. Right, so let's look at some Shinkawa. I mean, Christ, I hope it's Shinkawa. It looks like Shinkawa actually did it. Just for the information that relates to his actual, right, so he's got that big collar going on, nice big shoulder pads. Actually, let's look at this a little bit more closely. And then it's molded to his chest. Very dynamic, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Would a vacuum molded suit of armor help in subarctic conditions? I mean, if it's well insulated, I guess. And then he's got like a belt thing going on. There's an awful lot of good cosplay on the internet of people wearing Metal Gear Solid 1 Solid Snake. I just discovered there's so much that when I googled Metal Gear Solid 1 Solid Snake, it took me quite a long time to find an image from the game or official art. Maybe that's just Bing trolling me, because I just can't be bothered to make Google Chrome my default, and Google is the best search engine. It's not just that everybody uses it by default. It's not Coca-Cola. I'm gonna have to get another picture to see how those gloves work. So it looks like he's wearing like a tactical harness, but his gun is around his leg. His trusted SOCOM, unless it wasn't the SOCOM in the first game. I think it was though. He's got big old knee pads. Yeah, the knee pads and the elbow pads are the things I was really noticing in the cosplay. So he's got baggy pants that tighten up around his kind of shins. And in textbook style, I'm going to do a Rob Liefeld and not quite get to the feet. Right. I mean, I suppose it's not like I'm going to forget, but let's acknowledge there's a bandana. Right, what else? Any information here? Not especially. Camo. And this is his... This may not be an original in-game render. So in the game his hair didn't really go below his ear line like it does in Metal Gear Solid 2. So it's all molded. No tactical belt. Yeah. Ah, okay, but the gloves. I feel like I'm more comfortable looking at these gloves and the arms actually. So they are probably not molded there, but the gloves I can see is more like they're more easy for me to see here. Alright, yeah, so now I can draw a little bit bigger. I mean, Solid Snake's not the most complicated guy to be drawing. Let's zoom in here. This is my actual kind of, like, if I treat it like I'm working at A4, it should look pretty good on the page. Yeah, so here's the thing. This is me learning how to draw Solid Snake, and this is me showing you how I learn how to draw Solid Snake. But if you don't know how to draw like an adult male of muscular proportion or whatever, it might be not so bloody helpful. I'm telling you, he's the good guy. He's the good guy. You just have to take my word for it. Don't worry too much about the hair. I've been reading a lot of superhero comics. That draw might be a bit fucking strong. A bit more like that. Yeah. And when I say superhero comics, I mean straight up Superman. Via Batman, of course. Always via Batman. Unless it isn't, because sometimes it isn't. Right, so the volume levels, I'm using my, what am I using? My Snowball Blue mic. I was gonna initially record with my my headset, my gaming headset, because I'm recording using the NVIDIA inbuilt kind of recording software that's, I guess presumably for streaming. Yeah, I mean I can interpret this however I want really. Because it's free, it's already on my PC, it doesn't cost me anything, and hopefully if I can do this in one take, the volume levels are good, I can stay out of Premiere Pro. And yeah, I don't want to be making YouTube content at the expense of all the things I should be doing to be a better artist, right? So yeah, and of course I'm not there's not going to be any attempt to make this look like the Shinkawa style. I'm not sure if I've ever actually tried to draw Yoji Shinkawa's work using his brush techniques and, you know, his interesting use of negative space, big blacks, and bizarre yet dynamic colored highlight choices. Actually, maybe that should be more like up here. And he's got a tactical harness. What, to keep his belt on? Don't ask questions, you'll only get awkward answers, right? Knee pad. Yeah, I mean this is probably the level I was thinking of, just like that raw sense of what the shapes are. I mean, what do you explain? The guy wears a bandana. He's got a muscle suit. He's always wearing a muscle suit. They get more pronounced. Let's try a side view. I am terrible at side views. Like the muscle suit he wears in Metal Gear Solid 4 is literally a suit made to give him muscle density so he can... I'm literally about to draw this guy with the moustache. Alright, fuck it, let's go. If I'm going to talk about Old Snake, let's just roll. His hair's kind of like there. Yeah. Is his head the right shape? I feel like it's okay for Old Snake to have a big ass jaw, but yeah, it's. I think there's a reason you don't see a lot of artists do full on profile side shots. It's hold on. Why would his cheek be like that? Whatever. We're here to see me fail at art, so we're doing great. And is it a good idea for him to have dramatic lighting, whether it's appropriate or not? Well, I mean, right, let's give him eyes, because yeah. A wry smile takes the edge off, I think. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I think his hair is just kind of wavy lines, right? Yeah, no, that didn't help. I'm better off looking at it just as the size, literally a thumbnail the size of a thumbnail. Yeah. Just drawing like quote unquote normal hair isn't something I've practiced. There shouldn't be a parting. I don't know. just black it in, it'll be fine. Just make sure the bandana doesn't get lost in the noise. Yeah. I don't know what more. I thought this would be me experimenting more, but like when a guy doesn't really have, I mean, he's got a tactical belt, he's wearing a muscle suit, he's got shoulder pads, he's got knee pads. Really, the thing about drawing Snake is it's probably trying to find his range of expressions. I mean, does he need to look intense all the time? He does in Metal Gear Solid because he's a man on a mission to save the world from nuclear holocaust. But when he has the bandana this low, how does he show surprise? I mean, obviously in Metal Gear Solid his favourite word is Stone Cold's favourite word, what? You just draw his just give him eyebrows. I mean, technically you would see the shape of his brow through the bandana, and then you could just yeah. So I think if you just give him that pronounced, I don't know what they call that, like the line under the mouth that a lot of stoic characters seem to have. Bison when he's drawn typically has that. Rao from Fist of the North Star may or may not have it. How am I going to do his hair from the side? Yeah, because he probably has those. The irony is, Solid Snake clean shaven just seems weird. In almost, well, I mean, he's probably only clean shaven because there was no need to render him with facial hair, because they couldn't technically, like, the PlayStation couldn't. I mean, it could have handled it. I mean, it's not like Revolver Ocelot didn't have facial hair, but like in Metal Gear Solid 2, he's just got this kind of. Well, actually, no. It's more like he's got like a stubble beard. It's not that pronounced. It's like Wolverine is drawn with stubble in the same kind of way quite often. And he has like down hair. But I mean, I'm not really referencing. It's just that when I was looking for Metal Gear Solid 1 Snake, I was getting, I'm assuming because he's rendered in the Metal Gear Solid 2 version for Smash Brothers, that's why the internet only really wants, I'm not sure if his hair's like that. Might not be. Would it be up and out like that? Yeah, whatever. That's for next time, really, isn't it? Well, no, I'm not. I don't think I'll be bothering with Metal Gear Solid every different version of Snake. I will come back because Naked Snake has some really cool stuff going on, despite the up and down quality of the games he's in. Like Metal Gear Solid 3 is a game I forget how much I love that game. I am a Metal Gear guy. The convoluted plot, I'm down with that. The ridiculous characters, I'm down with that. Yeah, that's interesting. My Cintiq stopped recognizing my input for a split second. I was wondering what would happen, because that might be my computer having a problem. So I might see what happens in the recording and actually get an answer to that. So yeah. So Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 1, short hair, little Superman spit curl. We'll both have to figure out his hair at a later date. Bandana that goes right to the top of his eye line. Typically his brow is kind of pronounced through it. He's got this jowls, that might be what they're called. Pronounced jowls. This is from the Shinkawa in-game art codec I'm drawing this from. His nose is normal. Strong jaw. That's, yeah, let's have him I think hang out with the guys a little bit. In the middle, right, so yeah, like the Joe Rogan pose, like when they take the pictures for the JPEGs. So yeah, let's put Smiley on the right, on Snake's right. He'd be taller. Beautiful thing about working digitally is if I get the shape of or the scale of a character wrong while they're next to another character, I can just lasso and scale up. I was working on paper yesterday, drawing 7 characters standing next to each other, and I did draw someone slightly too small, and you know what, let's do it like he's actually in the game. Give him eyeshadow but no actual eyes. Did I say he has a pronounced cheekbone thing going on? Because that's totally how he rolls. If I just... I mean, yeah, that's too lame. It needs to have some kind of... Alright, maybe I should just make it like it's like a mullet that... What do you call a mullet that isn't actually a mullet? Yeah, see, that seems somewhat reasonable. And then he's got that big old collar. Bandana. Fist of the North Star characters typically have this kind of down the middle shading. What that would mean is there's dynamic light coming from both angles. I'm not sure how often this happens in the real world, or even in films, even in art films. Yeah, we're not here to draw Vegeta, so and Vegeta is not well pleased, or whoever this guy is, right? Don't want this to be too long. You know, I've been looking at a lot of characters with deadpan faces. It is quite funny, but it always seems out of character for a character to be, any comic book character, to have such a disinterested look when it comes to whatever they're involved in. I mean, superheroes care, right? That's the whole point. Shoulder would be behind Smiley's head, so I guess we're not gonna... And Smiley's arms. Can I put a thumbs up here without messing with the... I'll tell you what, we don't need a thumbs up from Snake because we're gonna have a fuck you from Vegeta. And his... Alright, so his... Yeah, it's this way. Right. Let's make sure his middle finger's actually not in the middle. It's 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. There you go. I suck at everything, including hands. Thanks for watching. Right, so Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 1. Now you know. Now I know. Now we know. Yes, sir.